I'm Yanchi.
I'm Tim.
And we are...
The...
I'm Yanchi.
I'm Tim.
And we are...
The Wanderlust family.
This journey started about 4 years ago?
Did it?
Kind of.
Oh, okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
So, let's start from the beginning. We met in high school. But we were not high school sweethearts.
Nope.
And due to the wonderful technology of Facebook, we reconnected in 2009 and have been together ever since. 08.
Yeah.
We got together in 2009.
Yeah.
And have been married for 6 years. Together for 8. Have 2 amazing little girls, Aria and Jordan. Tim and I were married when I was 24, he was 23, and we had planned a really lavish wedding, New Orleans wedding. He's from New Orleans.
Who that?
And we wanted to invite all of our family, our friends. We had a list of 200 and something people almost. And I can't quite remember what clicked for us. Was it when we were just house shopping one day?
Mm-hmm.
We gone to a really nice neighborhood. We had a nice apartment, but we wanted somewhere for our family to grow. And we saw this amazing, beautiful house. I was kind of really getting into my career at the time, and we walked in, we both looked at each other, and without even saying a word, we were like, we're gonna have a smaller wedding. So we opted for a Tuesday wedding at noon with about 20 people and a reception in our apartment just so we could afford this house. And later on that year, we got married in August, and in December of that year, we closed on our first house before the age of 30. It was a beautiful 2-story house. We built it from the ground up, brand new. Crazy huge backyard that we never got a chance to do anything with. And it was a hell of an accomplishment for us. Our parents were very proud. And we were at a stage in our life where we were following the rule book, that invisible rule book that says, go to college, get a degree, get a good job, and a pension, and a house, and have kids, and all of that other stuff. We were on that plan. And then in, what was it? I'll say about a year into us having that house, that's when life kind of really started hitting us.
2 different schedules. I was working at night, 12 hours. And you had a regular schedule. So we kind of became roommates. It was just...
Started traveling a lot too, for work.
Yeah, so I get home around 6.
I get up.
And, she's out the door. And by the time I wake up, it's like 2 in the afternoon. It's time for me to get up, get ready to go, and she's on her way home.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, I never saw her.
Except for the weekends.
And I had to work on Sundays.
Right, so it was Saturday.
Fridays and Saturdays were
the
main days, so that got rough. And then, I didn't get to see Jordan too much. So we had, her sister pretty much helped take care of her.
That was hard. Because, we weren't raising our own kid.
Yeah.
We were spending so much time working. And, we were together pulling in 6 figures. We kind of followed the plan well. We had the 2 cars, the nice house, the everything, but we weren't enjoying life at all. It kind of sucked. You look back on it, kind of sucked. You're like, yeah, we had the money, but we were too tired to enjoy it. We got pregnant with Aria, and my travel schedule picked up a lot. My company was going through an IPO. For those who don't know, that just means we were going up. Another company bought us. We were going public first with stock options. So we were having to vamp up, and that meant ramping up all of our other facilities. So I was 5 months pregnant, and on my way to a meeting, and I had to travel later on that week. And I started getting like this weird feeling, you know, when you're pregnant, Braxton Hicks, you have all kinds of things that are weird with you. But my whole left side went numb, and I started collapsing. I stopped feeling Aria moving, like my belly went really rock hard, and I remember yelling for Tim. And I was like, I don't know what's going on with me. Something is very wrong. And I remember him just basically kind of picking me up and throwing me in the car and rushing me to the hospital, which I still don't know how you did that.
It wasn't easy. I'm a pregnant lady.
And we were in the hospital for hours with no answer, and Aria still wasn't moving. So I was afraid. I was panicking at the time because I thought my baby had died. And that is not the kind of stress a pregnant woman needs. And I remember just laying in the bed, and after about 4 hours, a neurologist came in, and they said they ran every test on me. They had gone through everything, pulled my blood, vitals, all of that, and they couldn't see anything that was physically wrong with me. But he told me, he said, whatever it is that you're doing now, you need to stop doing it, because the next time you will have a real life stroke. This was just like the warning shot. And that's when everything kind of became very real for me. You know, of course, we're in the hospital. Aria finally starts moving around because she was a very active baby, so I was very grateful for that. So I took it as a very strong lesson, and I took heed, and we sat down and we had a really intense conversation. Tim quit his job to take care of me because I was put on bed rest after that.
Yeah. That's when everything kind of begun.
Yeah. He quit his job. Luckily, my job let me continue to work from home. But it got to the point where I physically could not stand up for more than 10 minutes at a time. Because the baby was so heavy. And because of the mock stroke, we were just afraid. My doctor didn't want any strenuous activity on me whatsoever. So from 6 months until birth, my husband was waiting on me hand and foot. Literally. Helping me walk, go to the bathroom, everything.
That wasn't easy.
I know, and I love you for that. I really do. So in Aria's born September 27th, 2013, March 2014, I quit my job with the plan of me consulting, which, you know, I kind of already been doing entrepreneur kind of work. And this is when we really started dabbling in MLM, like multi-level marketing. And as cliche and as a bad rap as it gets, MLM is not terrible, but there are a lot of people out there who've made it terrible.
People make it terrible, yeah. Some of the people, not all. It's as real as you want to make it. There's some great people in it. It's just, you got your bad apples, and people give companies the bad rep and stuff. So,
I mean, we dabbled in every company, everything, every side hustle. We started a tea company. We did e-commerce. We did t-shirts. We did affiliate marketing. I mean, everything we could to basically stay afloat, because despite I
drove Uber.
Yeah, he drove Uber, Instacart. He did everything. There was a few Christmases that Tim paid for off of this point system. Okay, let me tell you, sidebar here. So there was this app. I can't remember the name of it, but you were able to run your phones with ads, and you would get all these points, and then you could get gift cards. Well, we were struggling. There was a strong point where we were struggling, and just to ensure that our girls could still have a decent Christmas, Tim had collected like 40 phones. I mean, we had a phone farm.
Yeah, I go on eBay and get phones that you couldn't. The ESN number was bad, so you couldn't use them. Just use the Wi-Fi. So I had like this bat cave set up of phones, and just they had ads running, and I was able to get $300 a week off of those. I bought groceries with them, and they supplied Christmas for the girls for 2 years.
Yep.
You know, so and we do our Christmas shopping in October.
Right.
So if you got kids, tip, do your Christmas shopping in October.
Yeah, so we did all that for a while. So while our lifestyle choices had changed, our bills had not. So we went from 6-figure joint income to about like maybe three to maybe $5,000 a month. That's not making a cut. We have a mortgage, we had 2 cars, insurance, health insurance, I mean all of the same bills. And that was rough. That was really rough. I remember there was a time, actually right on my 30th birthday, where the day before our car was repossessed. My car was repossessed. And I'd never gone through anything like that. And it sucked because you feel like a failure in that moment in time. Like, I have a college degree. I've got all these years of experience. Why is this not working? I work hard. I pray. I do all of the things that they say they're supposed to do. And it hurt. And then the day of my birthday, our heat went out. Our heat was cut off.
Yeah.
That sucked ass. It sucked to be turning 30 and this happening. I was devastated. Like, I felt like an absolute failure. And I know Tim did a good job of hiding a lot of how he felt for a while, until this experience and the stuff that we went through made us so much closer. It taught us how to really talk to each other uninhibited. Like, not the BS surface stuff. I mean, to get to some of that real nitty gritty kind of conversations you don't want to have with the person you're in love with. We had those kind of conversations. And it really humbled us in a big way, because when you are fighting for something you really believe in and your physical world is falling apart, you begin to question everything. We lost friends. We lost family members. I'm not talking about to death. I'm just talking about just simply because of our life choices. And people that we didn't explain ourselves to felt like we owed them an explanation. They weren't paying our bills, so we didn't owe them anything. So in 2015, we filed for bankruptcy, Chapter 13. And it was the best decision that we could have ever made. In the beginning, it did not feel like that at all. It was miserable. School loans, house, the cars. I mean, we went for a year without a year and a half.
Yeah.
Year and a half without a car.
Yeah.
Because I worked from home. At the time, Jordan wasn't going to school. She was homeschooled. Aria was a baby, so, that didn't matter.
Well, Jordan was in pre-K.
Pre-K, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, she was, that was fine. And we just, it was a lot. It was a lot to take on. So we filed, and at the time, we just did everything we could to keep our house. We just wanted to figure out a way to make this entrepreneur thing work so we could just keep our house. And that was all that mattered to us. And it wasn't until earlier this year that we were like, this house is sucking the life out of us. And when you really think about it, I mean, how the whole reason for us working and doing all of these things is so that we can have a quote unquote better life. But what constitutes a better life? Your car, your house, your clothes. I mean, we had struggled all of this time, and we ended up realizing, like, we're doing all of this for our house. We couldn't go out to eat. We couldn't buy new clothes. So yeah, it was earlier this year. Yeah, we decided to stop letting our house, this physical house, that meant so much to us and had honestly become a symbol of everything to us, to stop sucking the life out of us. The whole point of everything we were trying to do, being entrepreneurs, was to live this life of freedom, travel, give our kids the best. And when we say the best, we're not talking about just physical things. We're talking knowledge, opportunities, experiences. And we couldn't do that anymore. It was impossible. So after a lot of tears, a lot of being upset, a lot of agony, we decided to fix our chapter 13 and file chapter 7. We just gave everything up. We said, take it all. It doesn't matter anymore. We need our life back. And during this process, I've still been consulting and working with various companies, and Tim had been in the process of getting his
adjuster license.
There you go.
For insurance adjuster. And I said in about 2 months I got everything.
Mm-hmm.
Got everything together, got all my licenses that I needed and certified, and then that was June, July.
Mm-hmm.
Then August comes, and then Hurricane Harvey.
We had just moved into a rental property.
Yeah.
Giving up the house in June. Giving up the house in June.
Out by no, we gave up in July.
July.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right, because we moved
to
in
the house
August. Moved into the house in August. A few weeks later, Hurricane Harvey. And so we were like, what in the holy hell? And it sucked because we had finally, once we had given it up, we had given up all the emotions and stuff behind the house. And we were like, oh my God, we're going to be able to actually save some money and have, we can do some things, like go to Chick-fil-A. As lame as it sounds, when you have no idea, the struggle was real. So
That's true.
we were finally planning to have an anniversary weekend, because we hadn't been able to really for real celebrate our anniversary in years. Some friends of ours were really nice last year and took us out for our anniversary, but we hadn't been able to give each other anything or just spend that quality time. So we had this beautiful weekend planned out, and this hurricane from hell hits, and we're displaced out of our home, and we were staying with some amazing friends for 3 weeks, because our house ended up really damaged. There was a hole literally in the living room. We had leakage all throughout the house. Our master bedroom was done. So during that time, there was mold all over the house in the AC vents and everything. So the landlord fixed it pretty quickly, but our whole life was turned upside down again. Tim was deployed out for 2 months in Atlanta, and I was here with the girls by myself. And while we were saving a great deal of money, because as an insurance adjuster, he makes a great income. See, I said great.
Did all right.
We also spent a great deal of money, because I was still, work with me had really picked up quite a bit, and Jordan was in school at the time, so I was, we had a car, but it just wasn't as functional as we needed to be. So I was renting a car, post the storm. That was extremely high. And then Tim was living in Atlanta, of course, for work. So we were spending on that. And when you just start adding it all up, it didn't make any financial sense. We were not going to go back to where we were before. So had another serious talk where we were like, look, this isn't working. And we need to find a way to actually begin enjoying and living life. And I had been watching for a couple months with the girls, the Bucket List family on YouTube. And it's an amazing, adorable family who travels the globe every week in a new place. And they're location independent. And I didn't even know that was a thing. Had no idea until I started doing some research. I told Tim about it, and he was like, wait, what? So you want us to be homeless? Like...
I was working 10 hours a day. I kind of knew this was coming, but not until, next year. And that timeline got sped up to next month. Why are we having this conversation right now?
We'd been through a lot of stuff the last 4 years. We sacrificed a lot and learned a lot. And the one thing that we definitely learned is that physical things don't mean as much as what people put value to. we spent a lot of time not getting a chance to experience the happiness of life because we were so busy and so worried about our house, our cars, and other things like that. And we just needed a break. We needed to be able to spend time together as a couple, as a family, and really see what else is out there. I've been in Houston damn near my whole life. I was born in Germany.
Houston. Anybody from Houston? Everyone I know says they just skip the H. Like there's no H in Houston, but it's called H-Town. But you just decide to skip the H and just say
H-Town, H-O-U.
Houston. And I'm like, you live in Houston. To all my Houston, not Houston. Houston.
We lived in that place
anyway.
for a really long time. I've always had this traveling spirit in me. I've needed to go out and see the world. I'm of both of us, he's the most spontaneous, but I come up with the craziest ideas. And luckily, he loves me enough to, as long as it doesn't kill anyone, he's willing to try it. And I love him for that. And this is why we are now the Wanderlust family. Reasons why we're doing this. One, to travel, clearly.
Yeah.
The only other place that I've gotten to visit outside of the US was Germany, where I was born, and once in Italy. Got to take a sneak peek of London for business, but that was like strictly for business. I didn't get to do anything. Tim is more traveled than I am.
That's a phrase, more travel?
More travel?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think so. If not, we're using it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been around. Shout out to my dad. Doing vacations every year, so I've been to most states and a couple countries, I guess. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So we wanted to make sure that we had the opportunity to really experience the places we were going to, not just as tourists, but potentially locals as well. So we kind of set a timeline, at least 2 weeks in the places that we're going, potentially 30 days, maybe longer, depending on, finances, weather, all the different variables. Because having gone on vacation before, a week is never long enough to be anywhere. By the time you're halfway in the middle of the week, you're exhausted and you're sad about going back, and then you need a vacation from the vacation. So, we wanted to be able to really explore and take the time to enjoy the places we were going. So that was reason number one. Reason number two, we wanted to find another place to live. I've been in Houston my whole life. Since I was 8 or 9, and I'm a big proponent of going out and exploring, learning, not just in books or on TV, but going out and experiencing it yourself. And our girls are homeschooled, so we have the luxury of being able to pick up and go wherever we want to, anytime we want to, with them, and their education follows. And we'll talk more about that in another video, but we wanted to see what China was like, Japan, Germany, in this day and age, the UK, different islands, hell, even Hawaii. I've never even been to Hawaii, and I'm not just talking about just the touristy stuff, but the history. There's so much more that's involved with when you travel, and a lot of times I think especially like travel shows, they show you the beauty of it all, which is great, but there's so much more to it. And so we wanted to really get the chance to embody that and see where else could we live. Can our dollars stretch further in another country or another state?
Yeah. Is there another reason?
Not that I can think of. You got another one?
No. Pretty much sums it up. To become world citizens, basically.
Global citizens. Yeah.
World citizens.
Whatever.
Don't correct me. You know, so to give our kids, you know, it's more experience based. So, you know, a lot of people, you know, they kind of get stuck in one place, home, then they're scared to leave home outside of just going on vacation. And it's like, you know, there's so much more to experience in life. There's so much more that you can learn outside of Houston, Texas, outside of the United States. You know, things that you see on the news, and, you know, you're constantly being fed one thing, and, you know, not to discredit the news, but, you know, there are things that you want to find out for yourself,
Right.
that you want to experience for yourself, that, you know, you don't want to be stuck in this bubble your entire life.
Right.
You know, I don't want us to be 60, 70 years old and we're just starting to travel and just starting to enjoy things, and we can't enjoy them the way that, you know, you would want to, because now you're limited to what you can do.
Exactly.
You know, so time is now.
Right.
So
That's our story. So
pretty simple.
we'll have a new video available every Sunday. Our first stop is California, and we'll be spending the holidays here, and then we'll be here for a few months probably. As we travel, part of the parameters will be if Tim gets called out for work, we'll travel with him. So if he goes to Oregon for whatever reason, we're going to Oregon, and we'll make our Wanderlust journey there. We'll learn about the history of Oregon and explore what's there. And then when he's done, then we'll go off to, I don't know, Bora Bora, someplace like that. So we'll keep you guys up to date on that, on our weekly adventures. Yeah, I know Bora Bora looks definitely on our list of places. So till our next video.
Peace.